Well, hello everyone. This is Robin Carter, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share my last alternative cards using the Delicate Wings Paper Pumpkin Kit from April of 2024. So if you follow my channel and you like to make all my alternatives, this should use the remaining supplies so that we have that kit complete and ready for the next month. So before I begin, let me thank those of you that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your subscription. We did reach 3,000. So thank you to my longtime subscribers and then my brand new ones. Welcome to my channel. I love to share tips and tricks along the way, so be sure and watch the whole video because some tips just come up as I make mistakes. I keep the video real so that you know what to do if you make those same mistakes. So let me switch down to the hands down view so that we can get started on our alternatives. Okay, this is the sleeve, and I like to store these in what I call one of my favorite things, and these are 7x9 envelopes. I know they've been popular with quite a few of you, so you can store all your components in here, and the goal is to not have any left, but if you're behind and you have many boxes, this would be a thinner way to store all your supplies until you can get to the kit yourself. So today I haven't used the butterfly, the punch out butterfly that we received. So for this card, you're going to need a thick white card base, a piece of basic gray cardstock. Of course, you're going to need that butterfly from the kit and also the gold from the kit. Now I have pre-cut out, well, let me grab the gold, there it is. So with the add-on dies, we have this nice thanks die. Let me see if I have them sitting around somewhere. I'm sure they're going to show up. Anyway, so what I did is I cut from the bottom of this. I've seen several people do this for their alternative to get the most. So this butterfly fits on there like that, and you can cut, you know, right where it won't show, and then set that aside for our next card. So do that out of all three of those. That's really shiny, isn't it? And then we'll be able to make three of the next card with this. So this is a pretty simple, so as you know, this punches up. So if your wings are still attached like this one was, make them loose just to give it some interest. And then we're going to adhere this to the gold. Now I don't find, it may work, I just, when I'm working with gold, I like to use either tape runner or glue dots. Now I have this old tape runner that I've had for years, and I'm trying to use up all the adhesive I have for it, but it goes quite a long way, especially since I use my Tombow multi-purpose glue most of the time. So if you just have the glue dots sitting around, you can use your glue dots. I did this for simplicity, and of course you don't get any wiggle room with this, so it's best, although it's usually kind of easy to peel up, set it down and hold it like that so that you can see you have a equal border on the top left and right, and then set it down. And actually that's probably the best one I've done yet as far as getting it pretty centered without having using the tape runner. Gee whiz, I'm having trouble with that. Okay, now next we're going to decorate this basic gray with our stamp. Now mine is still on my Stamparatus, so let me get it off. So if you follow me and you do your butterflies like I did, you probably want to do a whole bunch of those butterflies before you peel this off, or you can just line it back up again. It's not that difficult. Let me grab a clear block. Okay, and I like the bigger ones that you can order from the online store because it's easier to hold. Now this is a photopolymer stamp, so it's best to have a slightly cushioned work surface like the Stampin' Pierce mat here. I know they call it pierce. We can still pierce, but we used to have these mats that you could pierce around a object. Now because I don't want to get ink on my Stampin' Pierce mat. I also have a piece of scrap paper just from my printer printing shipping labels or whatever. Okay, then we need basic gray ink. Now that came in our kit, but I'm going to use my full-size pad for this, and we're just going to create a background. Now this is going to go on it, so we don't have to be too concerned about covering the whole thing. Just be sure and get the outer edges, and of course turn your stamp the right way. Okay, so I like to stamp off, just kind of getting the pattern started. Okay, and then you can just turn your butterfly to give it like a nice decorative background. Sometimes it gets sticky. So like I said, we're just going to work around the edges, and the center will be covered by this over here. Now you could use, you could just keep it white if you wanted to. I really like the depth that this basic gray gave it. Kind of makes it look a little more elegant and fancy, I think. But you do, as I always say, I give suggestions, much like the kit gives suggestions, and then you do your favorite. So, and sometimes you just have to do part of a wing, and then we'll get to him flying off there. Okay, so each one's going to look different. Just randomly stamp your butterfly. There was no rhyme or reason to that other than turning it. I have a piece of my chamois here. I cut it in half and then in half again. It helps me when I'm cleaning them on the Stamparatus. So just clean that off. And this is our background. So let me get this out of the way, especially if that's still wet. Okay, so this card is pretty simple. Before we adhere this down, let's put this on here first, and I want to do that with dimensionals. So I have those in an old clamshell stamp case that our wood blocks used to come in years and years ago. Let me grab some scissors. I have multiple pairs of scissors because I set them everywhere. I like to cut the big ones in half. It's not required. All right, and then let's put these around the back of this. I'm probably going to do 6, maybe one in the middle as well. You know what? I want it to hold up well, so I'm going to do one there and there. All right, make sure I got those adhered well. By the way, if you watched my catalog walkthrough that I did yesterday, YouTube was having some trouble. So it took all day for that thing to process. It wasn't just me. Luckily, I did search, and YouTube was having trouble with their processing. And so it was like 1 a.m. before that thing was ready. So you may think I'm coming to you the same day with this, but it is actually the next day. I did that walkthrough on Thursday. This is Friday. Okay, so put that on there, and then we're going to add some ribbon. Now, unfortunately, I just looked. This ribbon is no longer available, but maybe you snagged some up. It was on the clearance rack, and it is this, what's it called? Satin edged ribbon. So it's right here. Now I am going to teach you, I haven't done it in a while, my ribbon saving technique. I have one done already in case I mess this up, because doing ribbon on video is much more difficult than you think it should be. Okay, I use just a medicine bottle is what this is. And so I'm going to set it, I'm going to use my grid sheet to help me. Now to keep this bottle from rolling around, I find it easier to put like something heavy in it, some scissors, even my ribbon cutting scissors. They're a little heavier and they work better. Unfortunately, I don't see them around. So we're just going to, hopefully this will help hold it. All right, so stick your ribbon under here. For this, I've figured out about 7 inches is good. Okay, and then you can turn this ribbon over here, because we're going to pick this up, okay, and go under. Okay, and then it helps to twist the top one. All right, and then pull. Then you're going to make a loop with your bottom. Okay, so just right on top of itself. And then bring this around that side of it. And then start pulling. Now, as you pull, pull slowly so that if this knot in the center is not forming correctly, you can adjust it. And sometimes if your ribbon gets twisted on this side, you can then twist it the right way. This may be my best ribbon yet live. So I took it real slow. Maybe that's why. Okay, so as you can see, we haven't cut the ribbon off the spool yet. So that's how you save ribbon. You're not trying to guess how much. All right, so now I'm going to trim this. Okay, and it's on our bottle. Here's our roll. Then we can slide it off the bottle. Okay, and then I want this on the left-hand side of this. So I'm going to not cut straight down the middle. I'm going to cut a little this way. All right, and now we can adhere this around the side and adhere it on the back with some tear and tape or whatever you prefer. So let me put some there. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off, and it'll help hold it down on our card base that we're going to attach next. Okay, and by the way, if you want to know, okay, is this going to be enough to cover, get you a little measuring tape and measure around. I have some, excuse me, I have some old glue bottles that are empty that I keep that also work for different lengths that you can do this ribbon saving technique with. So then you just, if your tail is about the same size as your sides, just keep remembering which one is which, because if you pull, it'll actually pull it apart and it becomes two pieces of ribbon. All right, so I'm going to trim this tail just a hair. He seems a little longer than the other side. All right, and now we can adhere this to our card base. Tombow multi-purpose glue for that. And feel, this is the bigger side, so I'm going to put it right on there. And that is a simple alternative using this gold piece. Here is the other one I made ahead of time. As I said, your bows are going to turn out a little different, I think, every time. And I didn't have to use the one I pre-made. So I'll do this one on my third one that I have to still make. So let me clean up my supplies. Now these are the 5x7 envelopes. And I don't think I mentioned these envelopes are part of what I call my favorite things. If you're new to my channel, I am an Amazon affiliate. So there are links in this video. Just click on the more after where it starts the description of the video. And there's links, Amazon links that are safe. They're provided from Amazon because I am an affiliate. So when you use those links to purchase these products, I get a few pennies back at no cost to you. So I appreciate your support in my business if you use those links or have used them in the past. Thank you very much. Okay, I kind of stole my last alternative already during the gab. So you need a thick white card base. You need just junk paper. Now I have this, it's old, I hate to say it, it's a box store paper, but it doesn't stamp awful. It's from years ago when I used to scrapbook. So it has even a rough texture, and that's what I'm using for scrap paper. You can use the basic white, the great Stampin' Up paper if that's all you have. Or you can, I'll give you another alternative. Now I have done this, for this we're using the splatter card, and let me get out my envelope of those. So we have 3 of these, and I wanted to use them. I think it's very pretty. So let me get one out, and maybe I'll cut one ahead of time with you. So what I did is I just cut them in half at the score line, or you can actually do a little off, excuse me, that was loud, the score line because you want this to be 4 1/8. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it at 4 1/8 with our trimmer. Again, if you're lining your paper up at the bottom, you want to pull your blade down. That way it won't shift. This guard right here will keep those from going. Same thing if you're going to punch up. You want to pull your blade that way. Okay, so then we just have this little scrap that we can pitch. Okay, now I started off first making this card with half of one of these, but I found it was too much, so I wanted to third it. So I take my handy dandy little calculator and I do 5 1/2 divided by 3, and it comes out to be odd measurements, of course, with our eighths. So this one is 1 7/8. So let's cut at 1 7/8. That's going to be the 2 dashes. I'm off camera there. I'll do it up here. The 2 dashes before the 2 for 7/8. All right, and then we have left about, well, cut this in half again. I think you can do 2 7/8 and then whatever you have left. Let me just see if that's about right. Maybe one, I think one ends up 1 7 with the score blade. I think this one ends up 1 7/5. Yes. So you'll have 2 at 1 7/8 and 1 at 1.75. Let me put up my trimmer now. So I've made 2 different colors in case one color is not your favorite. So here is one that I've started with Moody Mauve because I haven't used that color and I think it's very pretty. But if you're not a pink person, I have someone who comes to my class who I know is not, you may want to use Lost Lagoon. So when you're using the 7/8 inch piece, you're going to want to cut this at 3 1/2. Now, if you don't have scrap paper and you're okay, you can just do a whole sheet of this Lost Lagoon or Moody Mauve. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to tie some ribbon around it. If you're wondering why I'm not just putting it right on the card, it's harder to do the ribbon. So let's attach this to the solid piece. I am going to use my multi-purpose glue so I can line it up down at the bottom. So this piece is just shy of 4 1/8 because I didn't want it to poke out, but it is 5 3/8 inches tall because I know that's what I want my finished size to be. So put this all the way left, right, and bottom so you can't see that other piece. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my embossed piece. By the way, I did emboss this. It did retire, so I'm sorry that I didn't get this video out before it retired, but I've used it before. This is the Painted Posies 3D embossing folder. Any embossing folder would work. I just kind of liked it because it had flowers on it. So use what you have. Even the new Floral 3D would, that's what I used over here on that one. See the difference? It doesn't matter. Either one. All right, so let me put this in my envelope so I don't lose these. Now, we're going to do our ribbon technique again. Do you want me to do it again or I'll just go with the ribbon. How are we on time? I'll do it again. All right, so I have some old retired basic gray ribbon. It helps to know where it is. Now, I don't know if it's because this ribbon is thicker or whatever. Let me put my scissors to hold the bottle. But I found you need to line this one up with the 8th mark to have enough ribbon. All right, so then you can flip that over there. All right, so let's do it again. Let's see how well this goes with the thicker ribbon. Push that down. Twist this one up top. All right, and then you have your knot. Make your bow. Just pull that up. And then this goes around. I need some more ribbon. and then you pull. Now again, you want to pull slowly and see how your ribbon is lying. Like my ribbon got twisted back there, so I want to make it straight. All right, and get the loops about the same size before you give it a big pull. And as you can see, I got a nice center there again. So I'm getting better at this doing ribbon on video. All right, so let's trim that up. Now, one of a fancy little cut you can do on your tails is to pull it in half like that and then trim it. It gives it like a little bow tie look. This is a satin ribbon, I believe. It's had it a long time. Okay, let me think. Go the right way. I cut one the wrong way one time. Oops. These aren't my ribbon cutting scissors, but they did pretty good. All right, so as you can see, we only made one cut from the ribbon. It's still on the spool. Then you can slide it off. And I want this bow right in the middle. So you can just take that, pull it to where it's even, and cut it. And we're going to do the same thing with our tear and tape to put it on the back. I'm getting my pre-order finally in tomorrow. I was late putting it in. I just went back and forth of what all I wanted. I had to choose. Hard decisions, I know. Now, if you want your ribbon, where's my silicone mat? Because this will work okay. It's a cutting mat I have. You can put adhesive all along the front to help it stay. I'm just going to go with it and not do that. Well, do it straight, Robin. That would help. Okay, like if you don't want this to move up and down, you could put a glue dot back there or just put tape runner all across the seam. But I think this is going to work out fine. So I have my thick white card base, and we can put this on here. I like showing the options of the colors and the embossing folder. So you can do your favorite. Let me know which one you like. Do you like Moody Mauve? You can wait and see the finished, I guess. Okay, now I showed in my first video how I colored them, but then I didn't have the add-on dies at the time, and then I got them, and I showed you how I put one on top of the other and did the wings. The pictures really do not do this little butterfly justice, but it's colored with a basic gray watercolor pencil, and then I used either blends or my blender pen with ink to add in the Lost Lagoon and Moody Mauve pieces. Let me put this on my card before my glue dries. Whoops. Don't know where that came from. Okay, and then we're just going to put butterflies around. Since I already have, so see, this is one that doesn't have one attached to the back. Can you see that? That has the center cut. And then I like to attach them to one that is already done. By the way, interesting fact. So I made this, I got impatient waiting on my add-in dies, and I made a scan and cut file for the butterflies, which you can see here, it doesn't cut off the tail. Well, when the actual dies came in, let me see, they actually cut off the tail. Let me see if I have any more. I think I said I don't want to do those anymore. I want to do, so like here's the half butterflies where I've made a cut file and cut those. And I'm not finding any more of the other ones, but it kind of cuts off the tail. It doesn't put this little end there. So if you're not a customer of mine and you have a scan and cut, I put the file out there once already and someone has purchased it, but there's quite a bit of fees with Etsy when I list stuff. So I can put it back on there if you let me know you want to purchase that. It's $5. and then they apply tax. But that way Etsy handles all the money. I don't have to do a PayPal or any of that stuff. I'll just list it if you let me know you want that. And it'll include a sheet of these, a sheet of these. It'll be a zip file that you can download, and also a template for each one, as well as some labels. I kind of traced the label that we got in this kit so that if you needed more labels, you could do that as well. So let me put this on this one so I can use it here on my Moody Mauve one. By the way, I learned something new as far as where you can see all my links. If you click on my name, it goes to the home of my channel, and it'll show one link. I think it's my Stampin' Up! Online store, and it says and more links. So if you click on that, even though it doesn't look like it clicks, then it'll show also my Etsy link, my blog link, and my Pinterest. You don't really need my Pinterest, but it's on there anyway. All right, so we have that butterfly. Here is the half butterfly that I've colored, and I only have one of those. And then I knew I was going to run out of the ones in the kit, and I remembered our old Stampin' Up! Paper pumpkin kit called Flora and Flutter, and it has this little bitty butterfly. There's plenty of other little butterflies. It's so little it got lost. Maybe it's in with this set. Well, that figures. Here's a sample of like what you can cut with that cut file. A whole bunch of little blank butterflies. Obviously I can't do the stamping. That's against Stampin' Up! Policy, but you'll have the negatives. Here's all my little butterflies. So this is from the Flutter and Flora. A current one that I know of is the lavender. Has some little bitty butterflies. If you have that kit, you could do that butterfly. All right, so I don't have another half one colored, but I have this one finished in my envelopes. So which one of these do you think? Oh, I forgot the sentiment. So we do need a sentiment. So let me grab, oh, here's all my butterflies I've colored. I just kind of went to town one night making butterflies. So I do have one for that one. All right, so we need a sentiment on this card, and this is where my extra labels came into account. So let me grab those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my labels. So see here, you can cut a whole bunch of labels as well. I'm gonna push this to the side. By the way, well, gee, I didn't tape that down. This is my new May host code. So if you see any products here you'd like to purchase, last I looked, the refill was still available for this kit. So it's a beautiful kit to have, and maybe you have some other butterflies since the refill doesn't include the stamp, and you could make similar cards. All right, so I need my stamp apparatus that I have the sentiment on. Okay, now this isn't exact. It's pretty close to the ones they gave us. Of course, these are white, not basic beige. If you have some basic beige, you could put that in your, and cut those out. So you can see I put that in there. I have one for this card, and I'm just going to make another one real quick. So if you do, I guess I could, I spray it, spray adhesive, then I put it on my mat. So the back of mine have a little adhesive which helps it stay in. So you want to tape that down well, make sure it's in the corner. I already showed how I line up my sentiments in my other videos, which by the way, I'll link a previous video in my end title page when I close out this video, as well as a link to my online store, and also a picture of me that you can hit and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So we need basic gray ink. I think I'm going to use my full-size pad. By the way, you can put a stamp case here to hold this up. I've also found the full-size ink pads work nice to hold that up. And let's see what all I ink up with this big pad. I know I leave stamps on here because I'm not done with that. Here, well, you can't see it. You couldn't see that. I'm out of table space to be able to get you close enough to where you can see what I'm doing. All right. That worked out well. So there's a sentiment. This sentiment is from this kit. We close up my basic gray. You can see here I have the Flora and Flutter cut as well. I didn't put that in the bundle I have on Etsy, but if you have that and want me to add it, I can. And Deborah, you've already purchased it, so if you have the September, let me know and I can email you that cut file since you already purchased this kit from me and it wasn't in there. Or is it Debbie? I'm so bad. I should know that for sure. All right. Now for the sentiment, I'm going to put that up on dimensionals. You know what? I'll just do this one because I have one finished of that one with a bigger bow. I may have to do a better bow on that one. It's kind of dinky. All right, and I know it covers up a lot of the gold, but I can't help it. You need a sentiment. So there is Lost Lagoon. I know I haven't put my butterfly. You know what? Let me glue the butterflies. How I do the butterflies is I put glue on just the body. That way his wings can flutter up there. Now this one, I'm not concerned about turning the wings because it has wings that are die cut with that detail die of the add-on dies. And then this little guy, again, just on the body. Which way should he turn? He should probably turn that way. All right. So there is Lost Lagoon. Here are two that I did in Moody Mauve. Oh, I didn't tell you. So we have 3 of those gold thanks, and that's why we set those aside, because you know what, I can put that on this one. So of course we have 3 of these card bases, front and back. You may not want to make, let's see, 6 per card times 3 would be 18. You may not want to make 18 of these cards and maybe save the other one, but you can make 18 with a speckled card and some additional cardstock. But we only have 3 of the thanks. I didn't put this one on dimensionals, but I think that looks great with this. And that's what we cut out from the butterfly piece. So, which one do you like, regardless of the thanks? This is one that I did half of a piece. You can see the difference. I just thought it kind of crowded the butterflies. So the next one I thought I'm just going to cut that into thirds so the butterflies aren't as crowded. All right, so I guess they're probably both pretty. It's just which is your color preference. So, by the way, if you are new to my channel and you do subscribe, I love to hear where you're from. I don't know why I think that's exciting. I just like to see from wherever you're watching. And also, if you're like these cards, this is my first alternative. The other one was fairly simple to use. The rest of the supplies was this. And so I can get back to me now after I show those. All right, so let me know what you think about those. The best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up. Let me switch to me. There I am. Okay, the best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up. Share this video with your other paper crafting friends and leave me a comment. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this kit. I really thought it was a great kit. Stampin' Up! Keeps upping their game, especially with the stamps we received for this one, very detailed butterflies. So I'm looking forward to next month's kit, and hopefully I will get it soon like I did this kit and give you an unboxing showing all the components of that kit. So the subscription period is still going on. You know, sorry about my arm there. So here is the flyer. I have details on my blog of this kit. I'll just read it to you real quick. It is a card kit. It will include 9 cards, 3 of 3 designs, and 9 coordinating envelopes. So you know I'll be making more than just 9. It has pre-cut paper accent pieces and labels, some wood grain texture, and masculine earthy tones. I think the envelopes are actually a wood grain tone, which will be nice. And it does coordinate with the Country Woods Designer Series paper, item number 163393, that is now available for purchase since our new catalog went live. So I hope that gives you some inspiration. And although it says it's for Father's Day cards, I only need 1 Father's Day card. So I will, well, actually 2, my father-in-law. So I will be making other cards as well with this that I think everyone would enjoy. So don't shy away from this kit just because. If you go to my shop, which I'll have a link to in my final title screen, and go to the specials tab, I always share my host code, which you saw in my hands down. And then there is also a link, if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, of how you can subscribe to Paper Pumpkin using myself as your demonstrator. Some of the perks I give is you get a PDF of how I made these cards. Of course, you can always watch the videos with all my tips. And then you also get a sleeve. I don't think I showed that yet. These already went in the mail, so you should be getting yours soon. So you get a little sleeve to store your stamp set in. And you also get a 1-inch square of the coordinating cardstock. Here's Lost Lagoon, so that you can write the name and store your ink spots upside down so the ink always stays on top, much like our full-size pads. So that's a lot of gabbing for you guys. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you. You guys go and have a great weekend. I have a golf tournament this weekend, so you all can wish me good luck. Myself and one of my local downlines, we are team members out there, and we have a match play tournament starting tomorrow morning. So I hope it goes well. And we always have fun, win or lose anyway. But thanks for joining me, and I'll sign off for now and look forward to my next video. Bye-bye, everyone.